Hi guys, my name is Michael. Welcome back. So in this video, I'd like to bring a few things to your attention. As you guys know, the crypto market is facing some sort of stalemate right now, and a lot of people are trying to wrap their head around what is going on in the crypto space. For a long time, people have been talking about the bull market, the altcoin season, so many things, have come and gone, and we have not seen any movement in terms of, price appreciation in crypto projects. And I know a lot of people are wondering, what is happening? Why are things not, going as planned? And it's important for you to understand that there is a fight going on behind the scenes and there's some dramas that are playing out. So in this video, I'll try to give you some understanding of what is happening behind the scenes. Like I always tell you guys that, it's important to not just see what is happening, but try to go a step further to understand what is going on. Because when you understand what is going on, you can predict what will happen. So if you follow this channel for a while, I've always told you guys that the global financial system was designed as a water system. Do you get? So it's just, a bunch of pipes and you have water going through it. That's how it was designed. So if you take a look at some of their terminology, whales, cash flow, currency, all these terminologies come from, the water, basically. Do you get what I'm saying? And so this whole system is powered by something very vital, which is called liquidity, right? Liquidity is the most important, component in this whole system. So once in a while, you'll see liquidity flow from one place to another place. You'll see liquidity flow into the stock market, flow into real estate, back and forth. So liquidity is the lifeline of this entire system. And the reason why we have not seen anything happen in the crypto space is because liquidity has not flown into the crypto space as we will want it. The liquidity that is flowing into the crypto space is highly controlled and highly monitored. Do you get? And that is why, we are not seeing we're not seeing some of the expectations, or we're not seeing some of the outcomes that we have been hoping for in the crypto space. So in this video, which might likely be a series, I'm going to explain to you three main factors why liquidity has not really come into the crypto space yet. And these are not things that you might be thinking about. I know a lot of people talk about a lot of other things, but I want to just, take you to some areas that people are not paying attention with. And the first thing which I'm going to speak about in this video is the retail crowd. A lot of people do not understand how problematic crypto is for the financial order, the current financial order. A lot of people just feel like crypto is something that everybody should accept. You need to understand that crypto is a new paradigm. It's a paradigm shift. It comes with new players. It comes with new gatekeepers and everything. And so the old gatekeepers are always going to fight this transition. So one of the things that you need to understand is that if you take a look at what currently goes on in the stock market and other markets, the current financial order, you will notice that the retail crowd, right, are always left, hanging, if I can put it that way. So in the legacy market, you will see something like, IPO allocations. For instance, if I wanted to buy a stock, if I knew that a stock was coming onto the market, if you take a look at what happened to Circle was about to come into the market, they get this whole IPO process where, institutional investors can buy the stock at a very cheap price. And when all of them have taken position, they release the stock into the stock market and retail comes in and provide exit liquidity for those people who have already taken position. That is the way it is, and for those institutional investors, there's so many barriers to entry such that the retail investors cannot, position there. You have to have $1 million, so many things before you can be like an accredited something institutional investors. So that is the financial order. The institutional investors take position, the retail comes in and eat whatever is left and fight for whatever scraps. So basically they are like crustaceans at the sea. You've got the sharks and the whale and the top guys eating the main thing, and then the retail crowd just fights for whatever is left at the bottom of the sea. Something just came to my mind. Lobster wallet. I need to do a video on that. They just fight for whatever is left, at the bottom. Do you get what I'm saying? So that has been the financial order of things. Do you get? And then crypto came along, and crypto, is so dangerous to the current financial order because there is no order to crypto, right? There is no barrier. There is no gatekeeper. You just get your phone, your internet, a wallet, and then you can start going in. There's no structure to it, and so this is a threat to the current financial order. If you take a look at crypto, you don't have investment banks, you don't have gatekeepers, you don't have any sort of financial advisor on things like this. Anyone with an internet connection can just participate. And so when crypto came out, retail traders were able to get in, the same way institutional investors will get into stocks early. Retail investors were able to get into this place very early, not because they had a lot of money. Do you get, like the institutional investors, but just because there was no barrier to crypto. Do you get? There was no barrier. Nobody was telling you had to have $1 million before you could invest in XRP. No one told you that you have to have this license before you could invest in XLM. No one told you. I mean, so people were able to get in on this place. I know there are people who bought XRP at 3 cents, 11 cents. There was no barrier. All you had was your phone, your internet connection, and you could get in. And so this was a big change, you get, in the natural order of things. So now that crypto has matured to a level, and I talked about this in my last video, the rate of maturity for crypto, how far crypto has come in the last 24 months, I mean, is mind blowing. But now that crypto has been, sort of enshrined as an asset class, by so many things. We saw crypto companies now being added into the S&P 500. We saw, standards. I think the S&P came out again saying that they're going to do a new digital asset class sort of rating or something like that. So crypto has been enshrined into the financial hall of fame, and it is now clear to everybody that this is a new asset class and it's not going anywhere. The IMF came out last week to say crypto is the new financial reality, and everybody needs to face this reality at some point. So what we are seeing now is institutional investors are trying to catch up to this whole crypto thing because they were late to the party. Remember, when XRP was going through lawsuits and everything, a lot of institutional investors couldn't invest in XRP, but retail investors didn't, have that sort of requirement. You get, we could buy XRP, we could buy XLM and all these coins, but a lot of institutional investors couldn't because they were prevented or prohibited by certain, compliance or policies or things like that, or regulations. Do you get what I'm saying? So crypto retail traders were able to take position in all these things. And now what you have is a crypto market where a number of retail investors are already well positioned and have priced, these things in. You have retail investors positioned in every major token. You get XRP, XLM, all these tokens. You have retail investors I'm not talking about position, well positioned. The other day we saw a guy that came out and I feel for that guy, but he lost $3 million worth of XRP, and that will be classified as a retail investor. So you can see the positions that retail investors are holding in these assets, in these projects and assets, especially in the crypto space. So now there's a dilemma, there's a big problem, with these institutions trying to come into the crypto space. Do you get? And the issue is, how do they come into the market that has already been priced in by retail without becoming exit liquidity? Remember, this is what they've always done to the retail crowd in the stock market. They get into the stock market, position themselves, and then retail comes in and provide exit liquidity, and they sell out and they cash out, and they're all rich and happy, and become billionaires. But now in the crypto space, the retail traders are already well positioned, and the institutional investors are scratching their head thinking, how do we come into XRP? How do we come into XL? How do we come into this place without becoming exit liquidity for the retail traders? That is the big issue right now that is going on behind the scenes. And that is why you see them putting a lot of strategies in place to trickle down liquidity into the crypto space without causing a major frenzy or without causing the prices of this project to appreciate too fast. So this liquidity coming into the crypto market has been heavily controlled. And some of the strategies that they're using, I'm going to talk about it. So you see, the institutional money is very large. There is no way institutions are going to come into XRP, XLM that the price won't go up, because you have a lot of, institutional investors come in, they come in with millions of dollars, right? And so if they come into a crypto play, no doubt, the price of that project will go up. Do you get? And if they buy too aggressively, they will push the prices up and provide exits for early holders. So if they come in and start buying the way they should be buying, because now they are playing catch up, right? So if they come into XRP and buy XRP the way they should buy XRP, right? They are going to push the price of XRP too fast. They're going to push the price of XRP up too quick. And so those guys who have been buying XRP since 11 cents, 3 cents are going to start cashing out, and you're going to see them, just splurging everywhere, basically. And so they are trying to control this whole thing. Do you get? So also, there's also a big risk that if they stay out too long, they risk missing out on this new asset class, on this whole crypto, transition. So they are trying to balance it. Like, how do we come in now without triggering a price run or a price appreciation that is out of control? Do you get? And so we see them putting strategy in place. Things like all these ETFs in the stock market, digital asset treasuries, custodians, some of them buy through the OTC desks and all this. All these things are being put in place in order to control the rise of these projects. Do you get? That is why we hear things like, 5 companies, are creating XRP digital treasury, Vivo Power, SBI, all this. But the price of XRP never goes up. And you're wondering, does it make sense? Economics, supply and demand. If we are seeing more companies or more institutions demanding for a project, why is it not affecting the price? It is because they are putting strategies in place to make sure that even though they are acquiring the projects, it doesn't affect the price. And there are a lot of ways to do that. In the stock market, I think they have things like dark pools where you can buy certain things without affecting the price of the assets. And so that is what they are doing, with ETFs as well, with all these DATs and all these things. For instance, we just heard that XRP is going to, combine through a SPAC with one company or so, and they're going to buy $1 billion of XRP. You hear all those figures, but the price of XRP is still down at $2.50. Right? It doesn't make any sense. And this is what they are doing behind the scenes. They are trying to get in, take position without setting off the prices of those projects. That is what they are doing behind the scenes. And it's so important that we understand this gameplay, because I believe that eventually it is going to break. All these strategies, eventually it is going to break. And what will happen will happen. Does that make sense? So what we are seeing here is the power shift, right? The retail crowd is no longer dumb money. Remember, they used to call the retail dumb money, smart money, dumb money. Retail, they used to call retail traders dumb money, and then institutional investors smart money. But when it comes to the crypto space, the dumb money has become the smart money, and the smart money doesn't want to become dumb money. That is what we are seeing here. But there is something that is certain, right? They're going to try to, do this. They're going to put so many strategies in place to make sure that they can come into this thing without setting off the prices. But I can tell you the truth that there is no way they are going to get around this, right? Because the whole goal for them is to take position without providing exit liquidity for the retail crowd. But there is no way they're going to be able to do this, right? There is no way they are going to be able to, they will take over XRP or XLM without creating a few millionaires or billionaires along the way. Do you get? So this is what they are trying to do behind the scenes. They are trying to trickle the liquidity into the crypto space, control it so tightly, so that these asset prices do not go overboard. So when you hear people talking about XRP at $100, XRP at 1,000, it's not necessarily because it's not hype, right? Those things are possible, but only if the liquidity comes as it should come. Do you get? Only if the liquidity comes as it should come. But what we are seeing here is controlled liquidity into the crypto space. And that is why we see the stock market keep going. The stock market is doing things that no one, could ever think about, making new highs every day. Do you understand? And that is because the liquidity, they are deliberately holding the liquidity in the stock market and not allowing it flow into the crypto space. And remember, guys, this is just my own opinion of what I believe is going on behind the scenes. Do you get? And as you can see from the moves that these institutional guys are making, you can see that they are trying to get the tokens, right, without triggering the prices, without allowing the prices run up too fast. Do you get what I'm saying? So we are seeing a controlled crypto space, and Ripple is part of this whole process. Do you get it? I've told you guys before, Ripple is also is complicit, they are, implicated in this whole process, if I can put it that way. Do you get it? So, but eventually something is going to break. Something is going to break, and the prices of this project will run out of hand eventually. Remember, the financial space is very tricky. Just one small move, an unexpected, a fat finger, whatever it is, a glitch, just something little, can change the whole trajectory of the space. So, guys, I just thought I'd bring this to your attention. Understand that this is what is going on behind the scenes. They are trying to prevent the retail traders or the institutional traders from becoming exit liquidity for the retail traders. And you guys, if you know about all these society things, they can't just have so many rich people running around. If you think about all the people that have come into crypto space and all these new millionaires that will be created if XRP go to $10 or $100, do you know how many people are going to become millionaires if XRP goes to $100? Do you understand? And think about what society will look like if that happens. This is what they are trying to control. Anyway, guys, I just thought I'd bring this to your attention. If you like videos like this, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.